amazing. That's right.
But I don't understand people that can sit and look in space and do nothing. I can't understand it. And there's so many people doing it. Yard work's one of my hobbies, and there's something you can do every day in that.
Right.
And I said, you bend over every time you go out the door. There's weeds you see, you want to pull.
Right.
And so you bend over, and I don't know. You see, I know that I don't think I'm much overweight anyhow, but I don't think you gain a pound.
Nope.
You can eat everything you want to with all this exercise. Of course, I took oil painting, and I took hooked rugs, and mosaic tile work, and shell work.
Wow.
And in all the years, you know, I've been going.
Yeah.
I played golf, the golf pro, the one, and we've been out here for
The one that
14.
you play with?
Yes, 14 years. We played together, and we were in a Jack and Jill thing. That's a man and a woman. You have to have a man, see. And I played it several times, but the man has to ask me. See, I'm not going to ask no man to play. And so I've played it a lot of times, and. One time, his wife called me, Dick Plantinga. He called me, his wife was going to the hospital. She called me and said, I wish you'd play with Dick. I can't play. And you know, I was putting real good that day. And he's a real good golfer. He's shooting in about the high 70s for 18 holes. Yeah. And you take one ball. Two people plays one ball, see.
Oh, I see. You take turns?
Every other shot is yours.
Oh, how
see, and the women would tee off on the even numbers, and the men the odd.
Yeah.
And so I was putting real good that day, and playing better than I do now, really. And we come in. There were 65 couples playing, and he and I had low net, and we had at least 3 or 4 strokes less than the others.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. And we got money, and I bought a 7 wood with my money.
Isn't that wonderful?
And
was it a good club?
yes, I like the 7 wood. And the one reason I never had
7 wood.
7
That's
wood.
really slanted.
I like woods. I don't like irons. See, if I can use a wood, I never use an iron. My favorite wood is 3.
Yeah.
3 wood. But anyway, I played Jack and Jill one time with somebody else, and this woman, her husband would get her in the awful. He didn't play as well as she did, and her husband would get her in the awfulest places that she'd have to get out of, you know, and she'd get out behind a tree and go over sand and all this stuff and get on that green. And I said, "What in the world? What club did you use?" "Oh," she said, "my 7 wood." And she did that while we were playing. I said, "Well, I'm having one of those clubs. I'm going to get myself a club like that." So, but a lot of women have those clubs now.
It's easier to use, or it's just a good club?
So, yeah, I use it instead of the 5 iron. That's about the distance for me. Instead of using the 5 iron, use a 7 wood. Well, anyway, it's a lot of fun.
Oh, I love it.
But you've got a lot of time, you see. I was 59 when I started.
Isn't that something? Well, I could start then.
And I played 28 years.
So after 28 years, you must be good.
No, but I played on 27 golf courses in Indiana.
That must be every one.
No, oh my gosh, no.
There's still a few you have to
Lebanon was a good course, and Kokomo, oh, that was a nice place. And well, I made a list one day just for fun, you know.
Of all the places you played?
I only played on one course in Florida. I don't like it down there. And a lot of people say, "Oh, you play all winter in Florida?" No, never played at all. I don't take my clubs down there. I played golf before. He never had time.
You started playing golf?
No, I played golf before he passed away. I played several years before that, and but he never had time. He worked the railroad, you know. He was superintendent of the Monon, and he had so many. He just busy. He never had no time. And so after he retired, the doctor, and he got after his heart attack, and he got better. He wanted him to play, and I didn't think he should play, but he wanted to play, and he used left-handed clubs, and he never took any lessons, but we played together, and we took our time, you know. And but he was the type that he gave everything, he gave it all he had, you know. I don't care what he was doing, he gave it all. everything.
That's nice.
And he got to be pretty good, you know.
That's great.
But he was never in any tournaments. But if he just kept playing with me, maybe he'd been all right. But we got to playing. There was 3 couples of us one Sunday, and there was always a crowd there. It was one big day, you know, and the 3 of us, there were 3 couples of us going out to play. And we had a big, they was going to have a big dinner that evening, so the course was full of people. And these 3 women, we went ahead of the men and teed off, you know, and they was following us. And so we got down on 4. It was kind of a sultry day. He shouldn't have played, really, but I didn't like to boss him around, tell him, you can't do this, you can't do that, because we did do that a lot, the girls and I. You can't do this, you know, you can't do it. And like yard work and mowing, he never mowed no grass, I wouldn't let him. And push a lawnmower and things like that. Anyway, and shovel snow. Hard people can't do that.
Oh, never shovel snow.
And so, but he wanted to play, so we went, and I was going up on, I'm going up on 5, that's 3 women to 5. We teed off on 5 and going down, and he was coming up on 4. Oh, he says, look, Mom, I got on in 2. And it's a par 4. And I said, gee, I hope you par it. And, well, he did, I think, but I still had that card for a long time. Then he walked on down, teed off on 5, you know, to go down 5. We were going up 6. And I kept watching him. I'd always kind of look back to see how he was doing, you know. And I saw him laying down there on that around the 5th green. And gee, I was worried. And so I rushed down there because we were walking. We didn't have a cart. But somebody else come along with a cart. And he had another bad heart attack right there.
Ouch.
And I got there, and they was working on with him, and he had no pulse at all. And it was terrible. Had no pulse. We got the ambulance. We took him to the hospital, and the doctor, right, you know, he opened up, done something in there and everything, but never done no good, and never come to or anything. Died right there on that 5th green. So that was bad, you know. I couldn't play. I never played no more golf that year. That happened along in the, well, it was, I suppose, maybe it was about 1st of September anyway, but, well, yes, it was the 9th of September because that's when he passed away. 9th September, 1962. One winter down there, I took a botany course while he was going to ball games.
Really?
11 weeks, every Thursday morning.
Really? Is that how you learned how to do this?
Oh, these are I did that to find out the names of things there.
Oh.
See, oh no, I know this stuff here, but you see down there, they've got other different things that don't grow here.
Yeah.
And here this tree's blooming, and that bush over there is blooming, and I don't know the name of it.
That's right.
See, so what is that thing? What is that?
Yeah.
I didn't want to be so ignorant, so, you know, so you go and all right, there's a woman, she was so good at it, and she, every Thursday morning, we had that all morning, we'd have that. On Wednesday, she would go out and within the radius of 50 miles of St. Petersburg and bring in samples of different things. And then she'd stand behind, we had it was in the City Hall we met. It was a kind of assembly room, you see, where it's just your seats just like the students, you know. And all the students were back here in our seats, and she had big long tables here, see, and she'd be behind the table talking, and she'd have a specimen of all of her different things that she'd brought in front of her for us to examine and take home with us some of if we wanted to, see, like that. And different people would, and I never did take her out, but I did want to take her out sometime, but I never got to do it. She always had somebody who took her for these trips to gather this stuff in. Well, all right, I've got notes here that I took. I'm going to have to go over them because I've forgotten to see some of them now.
Those are the plants down in Florida.
Yes, the trees, no, not the ones here.
Oh, you know this. the stuff up here already.
Well, I know this stuff here more or less, but but you see, it was there. And then there's the mahogany trees, and I never saw a mahogany tree, so they tell us where they are. They're right there in St. Petersburg. And you know, there's so many mahogany trees in Cuba that there was people. They used to when they shipped things from Cuba. We don't have that. We don't do anything with Cuba anymore. But at that time, their boxes was made out of mahogany.
Cigar boxes, right?
No, boxes that they would send things, and people would make beds out of them. Heads, beds. Oh. Yeah, all these boxes. I mean, great big boxes that held a lot of things. Wood. Yeah. So, well, they had so much of it. See, so much grew there. That's the wood that they had. Well, so I never seen a mahogany tree. I've got some, the mahogany tree. I went to this place where they told us there in St. Petersburg where they were, and I asked the people. They had these pods on them then. They're shaped like a turkey egg. Did you ever see a turkey egg?
Nope, never.
Well, you see, I have the advantage in one way of you know lots more things than I do. I don't, I'm just dumb. I'm dumb about your stuff, see. I'm dumb about your stuff. But I was raised in the country where we raised turkeys.
Oh,
see, we raised
turkeys.
Well, yes, my mother raised turkeys, and we had, and the turkey eggs, you know, we set the eggs and hatched the turkeys, and then they grew up.
I never even saw
them. Yeah, and then we sold them. And we didn't eat the turkeys hardly ever because we got more selling them, and we didn't.
The turkey eggs?
We'd eat chicken.
The turkeys.
We sold the turkeys. See, so like horses, you probably never rode horseback.
Just once.
Yes,
once
I went to high school on horseback.
You're kidding.
Yes.
You rode on?
Yes. Oh, I did a lot of riding. All of us, different ones went, lots of us went.
Oh, isn't that exciting?
And then I had a racehorse that I drove.
You did?
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
And, you know, so I used to hitch it up, too. In the farm, I could hitch up a team of horses, you know, and go out on the farm and work.
Oh, I love
it. See, so I have that advantage that you don't have, but as I say, you get a lot of other things you know that I don't know a thing about. So you see, that's the way it goes. This little yellow flower here is it's a buttercup. It's a perennial. It stays in the ground all the time. And then around in front there, I just put I buy all those things from the greenhouse. They're coleus and geraniums and impatiens and begonias and petunias. And in the boxes I have the same thing, you might say. It's geraniums and petunias mostly. They will get higher, and I have more bloom on them now. They're just put them out a couple of weeks ago, so they're not very big yet. I buy them at the greenhouses. I don't know. I want my flowers now. While I'm still breathing. The snow this winter almost ruined this front yard. It was pretty dead when I got back from Florida. But I've been working on it, and first I raked it, and then I seeded it, fertilized it, and I've had the sprinkler on a lot. It's been dry, and when you plant grass seed, if you don't keep it wet, it just will not germinate. So it's doing pretty well right now, but
going to put out portulaca this year?
I have, it seeds itself. I have it along here on the curb.
It's all going to come up by itself.
And it comes up itself, seeds itself, but it's not, you know, it's too thick one place and not very much another, so this morning I replanted some.
Oh,
so I've got that started there now. That'll grow pretty fast, and that blooms all colors.
Those are so pretty.
So, but it's a lot of trouble because when you mow the grass, you can't get up close to the rose moss, and you have to get down on your hands and knees and trim it, the grass from around it.
Yeah. But it looks so pretty right up there on the curve. It's great.
Well, I'm glad you enjoy it.
Oh, I love it.
I enjoy it.
It's so pretty. What are those purple things?
That's a Juta. It's a ground cover.
Yeah.
Blooms kind of blue in the spring, and then it has kind of a glossy leaf that makes it kind of nice around evergreens. Or in shade where you can't get grass to grow very well.
So what else are you going to have? You have roses.
I used to have roses, but I have too much shade for roses. I spent a lot of money to put out roses, and they're a lot of work.
Yeah.
They're a lot of work and trouble, and they freeze out, and it's too far north here.
They don't take the weather too well.
No, they don't take the cold weather, and so I quit bothering with that. I just spend my money on at the greenhouse on these.
So what are the best flowers from?
What's that?
What's the best flowers from here in this weather? What are the best flowers it takes to this climate?
Well, then winter. Well. Oh, I don't know. The lilies are good. Now, I have an awful lot of tiger lilies. They get too thick. I don't think you can kill them.
Yeah.
But
Those come out in autumn, don't they? Or
they
late
come
summer?
last July or 1st August, they bloom. And then after that, they die down and you don't have anything there then.
Yeah, they grow wild where I come from. Tiger lilies.
The tiger lilies?
Yeah, they grow wild.
That's a little different.
Yeah?
They're a little different kind, yeah. I don't believe they're the same as what I have.
Okay. So, those aren't buttercups, those yellow.
These yellow ones are buttercups.
Oh, they are?
Uh-huh. That's what I call them. Little yellow flowers. They spread. They have a runner that goes out and it spreads a lot, and you have to keep at it unless you want. That makes a pretty good ground cover too, you know.
Yeah? Gee, I'm learning so much. Can't wait to have a garden of my own.
That's lots of fun
Yep.
if you like to do it,
Yeah.
you know. And it's good therapy,
Yeah.
especially for an old lady like me.
Keeps you out of trouble. Keeps you off the street, right?
Keeps you out of trouble, yeah. I don't know whether I'll get this on right. Is that all right, Bertha?
Yeah.
Like that, okay. Well, I have before me here some of my articles that I made. I wanted to take up a new hobby, and while my husband was attending the baseball games, I don't care for baseball, so I decided to learn a new hobby. So I went to this place and took lessons on this pine needle and raffia work. In Florida, there is a pine tree down there that has needles, real long needles, and they're green on the tree, but when they fall, they're kind of a light brown, and you can pick those up. And this is all made out of the pine needles and raffia. The raffia, you have to buy the raffia, comes from some tropical country, and use a little metal gauge that holds 8 or 9 needles. And this is, it's all needlework. Now, this one piece I made while I was in Florida, this had a plate in there. And you took the plate out, it had the metal all around here, and you cover this metal with your raffia. It's all needlework. You have a big-eyed needle that you have to thread the needle to loop around there, and it's kind of like drawn work. And then you use curtain rings, different sizes of curtain rings. Here you can have now here's a basket I made, and it has different sizes of rings around. And you have to cover those rings, and then you put in it's all needlework, just like your grandmother used to do drawn work on her pillowcases.
Oh, that's great.
And there's different stitches. Now there's just 2 stitches on that, and here's a little thing that holds a whisk broom that I made. And use little stars. You can buy these stars, and you cover those, and then you put the little curtain rings around there. And this was a kind of a feather stitch. It has like 3 stitches in it. And sometimes you may want to wrap some of this needle, the pine needles, with the raffia. That's what I did here. And you have to, sometimes you have to, let's see, where's that? You may have to put a wire in. This one, little piece, you had to put a wire in there because if you didn't, you see, it wouldn't stay in place. After you get these all finished, you give them 1 coat of shellac, and then you can, they can be washed, scrub it with a brush. These little things you can buy, now you can buy these little wooden things. Also, you have to buy this little basket I made here. I made that this winter, and this is a frame, see, of it. And you buy that, and then you have to put your needle, there's not too much pine needles you see in that, just in the bottom and around the edge.
Yeah.
You can put 2 rows around or 3, just use your own imagination. I don't understand people that can sit and look in space and do nothing. I can't understand it, and there's so many people doing it.
Yeah, I
How
know.
do they stand it?
I don't know. It must get
Now,
really
you're not
boring.
going to be that way, are you?
I try not to. I try to keep busy.
got to rest. I have to rest. Turn it off. I hope he's not got that connected. I bet he's took everything I said in. I'm going to kick him if he did.